Good day, 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 my loves. Top of the day to you. I am sending you love, peace of mind, and just a little bit of joy in your heart. Just a little bit. If that's all you can muster. I wish you as much as I feel right now. I really do, right? So today I've already got up, I've made my bed. You know, my cat is up early in the morning because when I got him, I had a 9 to 5. I was still in the matrix. And so he's accustomed to getting up that early, okay? So, and I get up with him because I get up, I give him his treats like I was going to work. And that's how it's always been, right? So I got up, gave him his treats, I watched the sunset rise, I made me my detox tea, the one that tastes like coffee. It is so good, y'all. And I kind of miss coffee, but I really don't. When I feel like I'm missing coffee, because I don't need any more caffeine. I'm already hyped by myself, like literally. When I start thinking about coffee, if it's like a craving type thing, then I go drink my tea. But either way, I drink one or I have two different kinds that I drink in the morning, right? So I've got over to that. I made my bed. No, I did not brush my teeth yet because I bathe twice a day. So I'm going to bathe again, but I bathed late last night and I brushed my teeth then. So they're still, you know. But as I was making my bed and as I was reflecting back, you know, it's a beautiful day. I'm talking about the sun is shining bright. Not a cloud in the sky. And the birds are singing. Can you hear them? Y'all hear them? They sing every morning. It's just a beautiful thing. But as I'm doing all this, right, I reflected back over this past weekend. It stormed. I mean, it was like thunder and lightning like crazy. I watched it. I watched some of it. But this morning, I'm like, okay, I'm in between. I'm recognizing and entering over and understanding and accepting. That's the part I'm doing now. I'm accepting, you know. I know about the journey, even though, you know, I don't know everything, but I know that with this journey comes trials and tribulations. And basically, it's all about healing oneself, right? You have to heal yourself. You have to heal your inside trauma, childhood trauma, domestic violence, molestation, whatever, okay? Whatever it is, because when you don't, it will manifest in your physical body. If you don't get rid of toxic emotions and feelings, it will manifest in your body as a sickness. Literally. Not to mention if someone's doing black magic on you, that's a whole nother story. But let's just talk about you. No outside interference. If you were raised like I was, you was raised, you know, a child should be seen, not heard. And I'm still unpacking childhood trauma from when my dad was killed, which, you know, I'm in my 40s. So it's like, okay, how? How, Sway? It's because that was such an impactful moment in my life that, and I didn't get to voice it. I remember going to see a therapist, and it's so funny because I remember asking my mom whether or not she remembers taking us to see a therapist, and she said she remembered Corey going, but she don't remember me and Nikki going. And I remember going because I remember what we had to draw and all that other stuff, right? So, you know, that's a whole nother form of gaslighting, but I'll talk about that at another time. But when I got up this morning, I'm like, I am not who I used to be, yet I am not who I want to be. So then who am I? That's the question that I had to myself. Like, I'm definitely, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Thank you, Most High. Thank you, my honorable ancestors. For the blood. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am not who I used to be, right? So grateful for that. Definitely not who I want to be, because the person I want to be, the woman I want to be, is one of divine alignment. I want divine flow to be flowing in my life without me resisting anything. I want it to come to me and me to let it go just as easily. You understand, and understand what I'm saying? Definitely. That's what I want. So until that happens, I will continue to strive. I will continue to strive. I'm not going to let up on myself. That's one thing I vowed to myself. I don't care who gave up on me. I don't care who didn't believe in me because I was crying a lot or because I was confused. And just because I was confused didn't mean that I didn't know or didn't mean that I didn't see or didn't mean that I wasn't aware, because I was very keenly aware, which is why I have the gift of going back in the past, because I remember a lot of things. But if I'm not who I want to be yet, then who am I? I'm not who I used to be. And so that question just had me. It really had me. And so it's like I'm discovering me. Now, my foundation that was built on lies and deceit and manipulation was cracked, was splintered, it was not of the Most High. Even though I grew up in church, even though I was baptized, all of that, it still was not built on God, because I did not know thyself. And if you understand the matrix, and if you understand the system in which we are governed under now, which is crumbling, then you'll also know that it was done intentionally. That way they can siphon your energy. It was done intentionally. You are who you are right now and struggling the way you are right now because someone deemed it necessary for you to do it, for you to live out their life, because this is not your life. This is not your life. The life that you are leading right now is not yours. If you partying too much, this is not your life. You are living out someone else's energy. They are using you. And the only way you're going to recognize, enter over, and understand how that works is if you sit still and get to know yourself. And that is what I'm still learning. God still has me in isolation, and I am grateful for it. Before, I was like ready to get out. Y'all, let me just be honest, transparency moment. Through this whole pandemic, through this whole thing, I've been saying to God, I'm ready to go. Let me out there. Let me go. And each time I say that, another revelation comes to let me know that no, baby girl, you're not ready yet. Because when I discover something, it's like, dang, I didn't even know to even look there. You know what I'm talking about? You never know what you don't know until you realize you don't know it. I say that all the time. But I also want to say this. If you have been intuitively guided to my channel, then you will understand. It will touch you, because I am going to speak in a different kind of way right now. I'm talking to you, not the ones who are stalking my channel, not the ones who want to see what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about if you are energetically vibing with me and you were drawn to my channel, then you, my love, are very, 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 very special. And your life has been so difficult. I know. I feel it. But that's because the Most High has a plan for you. Do you believe in magic? Because I do. And if you don't believe me, I am living proof that when you do right, when you try, I'm not perfect. Let me, disclaimer. I've never claimed to be perfect at all. And in my everyday life, along with the people that I love, I have always admitted my faults. I have no problem, never had a problem admitting when I have overstood and understood that I was wrong in some sort of way. And along your spiritual journey, you are going to know when you have wronged someone, because as you learn about other people and what they did, you will also recognize yourself in that same action. It may be with a different outfit on, okay? But it will still be the same and it will resonate with you, and you will have to make amends if you hadn't already intuitively started doing it. Because before I was even aware of this, I was intuitively guided to make amends to people. I wasn't aware of the spiritual realm in depth as I am now, and I'm still a novice, y'all. Let me just be clear. I am still a novice, right? So, on your healing journey, when you become aware that you have wronged somebody, it is best for you to make amends. That is one of the 108 universal laws of this space that we dwell in. No matter where you are in the world, no matter where you are, we are all under the same umbrella. The same umbrella. Some of us are a little different. And I don't know what God do to people who don't have a soul. I really don't. I do know karma is real. I really do believe that. I do believe that there is a God. I do believe that. I do believe that there is a supreme power that governs us. So I do believe that. I do believe that. And right now, because my original foundation was cracked and broken up, the one that was built on lies and deceit and subservitude and all that stuff to enslave my mind and my body and all that stuff has been broken. And so now, why I don't know who I am quite, I am rebuilding my foundation on what I truly believe in my heart and what I know to be factual. And me being able to speak today is proof that there is God. It really is. That there is a God, that there is a Most High. Whether it be one or two, I don't know. But I know I've been praying and talking to God my whole life. I know that. And I'm coming to some truths more and more about religion, and it's like the more and more I research, the more and more I realize how much of a weapon organized patriarchal religion actually is. And it's so diabolical, y'all. If y'all could see what I see, it is so diabolical. It's so wild. But you may not know who you are right now. And that's why I actually came on here, because that's what I wanted to talk about. And I'm okay because I'm enjoying this journey. Like, for whatever reason, I've been listening to a lot of reggae, right? And I love reggae, always have. This ain't nothing new. But it's more like conscious awareness, love reggae. It ain't cause you don't get me wrong, you know I love me some Shansina. But it's more of Bob Marley manifesting in these women's body. And it was like, it had me so chill that I was transported back to Jamaica. Like I was on the patio, but I really wasn't on the patio, y'all. I really wasn't. And I'm aware that a lot of my neighbors got the cameras on the outsides of their house, and I didn't even care. Because I know a lot of my neighbors probably think I'm strange. They think I'm weird. And ain't no telling what the family have told them. So, that part. But it shows what they believe about me by the way they interact with me. Because I'm genuine. And I don't care what anyone has said about you to me. Because the fact is that if the people in my house talk about them to me, which they do, then I know they talk about me to them. So that's how that worked. But that's still me knowing that and inner over and understanding that did not change how I dealt with people. Now, I have been called to, just by people's actions, to withdraw my energy from them. But that wasn't because of what anybody said to me. that was because of how we have interacted, even with me being too nice. I watched a video on that and I just still can't believe it. Like, it resonated so deep with me about being too nice. And that may be why you're here too, because you're too freaking nice. On this beautiful Sunday, top of the day, you're too nice. You gotta start treating people, and it's gonna be difficult, y'all. Listen, this is not easy. That's why God got me in seclusion right now, because I was too nice. And that's crazy, right? I just watched what's her name, Victoria Hunter, and I love her. I mean, I resonate with her energy and the videos that I've watched, because after it had stormed here in Georgia, and I was like, okay, I don't watch tarot like that. Have I watched anything recently? No. I watch a lot of documentaries, and people are literally helping me to become who I want to be. I don't want to be a person who allows people, because that's how I was raised. That's how I was groomed. I was groomed that way. So it's not your fault that that's how you behave. It really isn't. Whether or not you're a people pleaser, that's being too nice, okay? Let me break down what too nice means in my understanding. It means going above and beyond for people who are not equally giving you the same type of energy. You have to look at it as energy. Take away the faces. Take away the faces. Take away the faces. Because if you didn't recognize the faces that were giving you this type of energy, you would treat them accordingly. At least that's how I have operated in my life. I have. Anybody outside of my circle, and that included people who are considered best friends, they were family to me. But anybody on the outside of that, you couldn't infiltrate that with your negative energy. But I was so focused on the people on the outside of that circle that I wasn't really paying attention. But I was paying attention to the people on the inside of my circle. I was paying attention, but I wasn't consciously aware of the spiritual aspect of how they were treating me. I thought, you know what? Because religion taught us that family is blood. And you allow your family to manipulate you. You allow your family to gaslight you. You allow your family to abuse your kindness for weakness. You allow your family to not support you in your time of need. You allow your family to just walk all over you, basically. Okay? Out of some duty. And that I'm still struggling with that. That's why I'm bringing it to you, because I still struggle with that. But every day I'm reminded I still love them. But I gotta let them rock with their own energy and with their own relationship with God. Unless, like I said previously, unless it's like a life or death situation, then. And even then still, you be mindful. But figuring out who you are after a traumatic experience, and after who you thought you were but you're not, and then who you thought other people were but they're not, can really rock your world. It can really throw you for a loop, y'all. I really did think I was going crazy, which is one of the reasons why I watched tarot so much, because it was like, okay, no one on the outside of me, in my immediate vicinity, could say, okay, they understood. Plus, they wasn't programmed to do that. They were programmed to gaslight me and to think and to make me believe that I was going crazy. But I did not go crazy. I did not go crazy. I did not. I just had a thought, because I can see how I could have ended up like Kanye West. And that's a whole nother story. But he is definitely under heavy black magic. He really is. I see Kanye as how my family wanted me to be. If they had won, if the people around me, and that included friends, lovers, and family, if they had had their way, I would have been like Kanye West. He's actually telling the truth, but they have done such a good job in scrambling his brain. And it seems as if the people around him, well, anywho, it's a whole nother story. But yeah, so if you're like on this journey, right? And you're like not quite sure, enjoy that moment. And that's the part that I'm learning. And the only reason why I'm learning it is because I have learned to accept this part of the journey, okay? I'm not fighting it anymore. You know what fighting it looks like? Fighting looks like, if you look back on all the other 300 videos that I've done, fighting it looks like, I'm ready to go, God, get me out of here, God. I'm ready to leave, God. Pick me up, God. Pick me up out of here. Just turn it all around, God. That's what fighting it looks like, because I'm not accepting and I wasn't learning from the experience. I didn't want to sit still. I wanted to get up and go. But the feeling and the emotions would have just got up with me and went wherever I went. And I don't want that. Do you want that? Do you want the toxic behaviors that you have adapted because of what your family and your friends and your husbands and your kids sometimes put you through? That's why you got to remove the face. Treat them as energy. Treat them as energy. Begin with little steps, however that looks like for you. However it looks like to you. Okay? Little steps. But you have to remove the faces. And that's what I had to do. Because I recognize, and someone put it bluntly, I can't remember who said it, but I've probably heard a lot of people say it. Because I have watched a lot of videos, and not just, tarot readers. I watched Tony, what's his name? What's his last name? I think he was like one of the first people I watched because I was still so focused in the Matrix trying to get money. I was really, what's his name? Tony? He's a motivational speaker. And he really has a lot of good information. And I remember when I first started this journey and I was still focused not on spirit, not on, getting connected with God, not on going within. I was so focused on, oh, I got to get money so I can get up out of here. Like literally, I was. You can watch the videos and see where my mind was at. But I'm so grateful for what I have right now and the space that I'm in, that God literally put me in a cocoon. I didn't see it as a cocoon. At first, I saw it as a jail. Y'all see, I was talking about this house, talking about it was the house of horrors and everything, but I was still in my emotions. And I was cleansing them out because to me, and every time I was here and when I left, it was the house of horrors. But that was emotions speaking. God knew that this was the safest space for me to be in order for me to grow spiritually. I feel that now. I know that now. I enter over and understand that now. And I'm saying that because maybe you need to look at it that same way wherever you are at in life right now when you're looking at this video. And if you're not feeling that, listen, I get it. It took me 300 and something, almost 400 videos to even get to this point. And I'm like speaking off the dome and from my heart right now because I just wanted to come out here and talk about what it feels like to just openly and raw instead of writing it down. But it is still a beautiful thing. It's still a beautiful thing because I have trust in a higher power. I don't govern everything, and I can't govern everything. And I'm understanding that that is also a form of manipulation, no matter how good of my intentions it is. I have to allow people to be them, whatever that may be. And I thought I was, but I recognize where in some situations I wasn't. Even if I knew it was the best for them. You get what I'm saying? Even if I felt that, I still, like I said, when I realized that I was intervening in God's work, I was. I was saying I was better than, but I didn't recognize that that's what I was saying. Now that I understand that and understand that and recognize the hierarchy and recognize my place, right? I know how to step out the way. I'm still learning though, because my heart is pure. It really is, and it's good, and I don't want them to experience certain things, but that's not my place. That's not my place to make that judgment. They have their own relationship with God. They have their own lessons to learn down here. So that's what I've been telling myself when I feel the urge, when I feel, and I recognize it's their energy pulling me. And when I don't respond because their energy is pulling me, then I'll get the physical act of them pulling on my energy. And it can come in a way, I see it. It come in many different ways. And once you start sitting still like God is asking you to do, like your ancestors are probably going to make you do, and that's my hierarchy that I understand, understand. So if you don't vibe with that, I get it. But I do believe that there's a hierarchy, okay? And I do believe that. And I do believe that our ancestors worked for God. I do not think that I would have been able to hear my dad's voice if God did not allow it. I really don't think so. I haven't heard my dad's voice since he died. And I knew instantaneously that it was his voice. I knew that. And when I closed my eyes, I got the visuals. And all my ancestors that were standing on the sideline with a lot of prominent ones that I talked to standing out there was telling me, yes, it is. Believe him. He's telling the truth. And I am like bawling, and my legs are so weak, y'all. My legs are so weak. They got so weak, I had to hold on to the closet door. And as confirmation from my family, wasn't for me, because I believed, I knew what it was from the beginning to the end. But I was telling my family about it. And I had just got back from Costa Rica, and that was a trip that I took by myself. That's not the first trip I've taken by myself, but I was spiritually guided to go there. I know that now, because out of nowhere I got that thought. And then I hugged the tree that was like the tree of life, basically, in the forest, my guide. And then he told me a story about his life. And I was so in a rush, y'all. It was so funny and so cute at the same time. And I was humbled, and I appreciate the way he humbled me, because I was rushing when he was telling me the story, y'all. And y'all know what turmoil I've been in. I was ready to hug the tree. I didn't care. And he was like, no. He said, out of respect, blah, blah, because this is his land. Basically, I am a visitor. And I get that. And I understood that. So I allowed him his moment with the tree. And y'all, my life was changed from that trip, because 3 days later, which was my dad's birthday, which understand, and understand, I was not consciously aware of that. I really wasn't until I picked up my phone and Facebook was there. And my mom was wishing my dad happy birthday, and I started talking in my head like, I wonder if you one of my spiritual guides. And his voice, it was so loud, y'all. It brought me, it just released a whole lot from my body that I had to hold on for support, right? But as confirmation that God does exist, and that the spiritual realm, our spiritual ancestors, are still around us. If we are pure enough, if we are clean enough, and if we are aware enough that we can differentiate. And I had come off, and the food that I ate was from the land. It was literally a spiritual retreat. I wanted a yoga retreat. I specifically wanted yoga. And where I went, y'all, was so magical. I went to the falls. I jumped in the falls, y'all. And this is just stuff that I do and I love to do. But when I came back 3 days later, it was a magical moment. And so as I'm telling my family, I'm telling my mom, I'm telling my papa, I'm telling my Aunt Paula, who's very spiritual, who's very religious, let me be clear. She's very religious. She went to theology school, and her way, if it's not in the Bible, then it don't exist. If the Bible is against it, so is she. She's very PC. She's not gonna say it like that, but she gonna dance around it. But that's basically how she thinks. There's no room for interpretation. There's no room for what ifs. There's no room for, and I know this because I've asked these questions, and in the beginning of my journey I was questioning, I was asking. And her thing is, I say, well, Auntie, don't you know, this is where God showed me, when it's a win-win situation, that means I recognize where a person's mentality is, and I allow them to be there without trying to change their mind. And I wasn't trying to change her mind. I just wanted to get some understanding. So I asked questions, and one of the questions that I asked was, but Auntie, don't it make you question? Wouldn't it make you question the validity of everything that is said in the Bible? Based on the fact that we know that there are a lot of books that they did not put in the Bible, and that there's a lot of information that has been restricted. And I brought up some examples because my auntie used to come up here in the beginning of my journey, and I was always asking, because she was going to my mom's house, and they would come up, and she actually bought me my Bible, and I so appreciate and love her for that. That Bible is going to be passed down from generation to generation, okay? So I love the Bible. I do. It's very informative. I do. But anywho, and as confirmation, let me wrap up that story. As confirmation, as I'm telling all of these people, and these are people that raised me, these are people I've grown up having in-depth conversations with at significant point in times in my life. And we're at my mom's house, y'all. This is no BS. I'm telling y'all, this is no BS. As I'm telling my, because I told them, they know I went to Costa Rica. My mom tried to gaslight me on Facebook, telling my son, why I want to go this man. Now I've been trying to get my mom to go out of the country for the longest. That's a whole nother story, but she's scared to fly, so we're going to let that ride. Anywho, so as I'm telling these significant people, how many people was it? It was my papa, my mama, my Aunt Belle, and my Aunt Paula. So that's 4 people. Foundation. God always puts witnesses, right? So as I'm telling them the story, and I get to the part about talking about how I heard my dad's voice in my head, and I recounted, and I was like, Nene was there, and I was like, my grandmother was there, and they were there, and I'm crying and I'm bawling. My mom's lights flicker on and off a couple of times, right? And I was excited, y'all, because I'm new to the journey. I'm excited because I'm like,